Congratulations on the first Bob. And I will start out with Fuzzy Hat. Give me just another couple minutes. I'm just making sure that everything is good to go before we officially get started. Alright, I also just heard that, and the music is definitely too loud competing with my voice, so just testing this again to see how turning it down compares. Also, welcome on in, Ruben, as well as Phil. Hey, Ruben. Also, I don't really speak Spanish. I know enough to understand that, but yeah, outside of that, no. Give me just another minute, and then we should be getting ready to actually get started. Thank you, Phil. I'm glad that you like the screen. It's going to be super inappropriate for the start of the game, and I love it. I should probably have just staged the game with some royalty-free music. It'll be all good. Yep, I'm getting ready. I just need to close my door, make sure all animals are in, and then we're getting started. Okay, okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. I think I saw no mic and was like, oh, let me correct that. And then I was like, I know that I didn't have a mic because, yeah, I said that I was just making sure that all the animals were going to be in the rooms that they were going to be in. And then I needed to grab this little guy. So if you can kind of see him, it's an adorable little otter that BobCGames got me. Um, so, yes, I'm putting that on real quick. There's a lot of BobCGames stuff that's like centrally in frame. Banana Bob right here. We have James right there, Adam right there. Bob got me this necklace. Bob got me this shirt, which I thought was fitting because it's a build. So, my Bob build shirt. And then also, it's really hidden back here. This little guy. Yes, that is another otter because I love otters. He's holding a pineapple and a jalapeno, which is a joke from YAGS. So, yay. Yes, and so that leads to what we're doing today. Today we are playtesting BobCGames' game that is still in development. Daddy Dating Sim, which I know absolutely nothing about. Also, congratulations, Phil, for redeeming second. Also, I need to have StreamerBot open, that way I can make sure I'm acknowledging everybody in chat. Perfect. Cool. I need water. I need all the water. Also, let me know how the music is doing. If it needs to be higher, if it needs to be lower. Not just to drown out my voice, but that way I can actually... Ah, the fuzzy hat. Okie dokie. Cool. We'll be getting rid of this bad boy at minute 27. Perfect. Alright, and with that, I think we're finally ready to start Daddy Dating Sim, unless, is there any housekeeping before we get started? First off, we do have the developer in chat with us today. So, if you're watching this, yes, he is here. And everybody be nice, or you'll get banned forever. 'Cause this, like, tell me how much you hate everything. Nah, please be mean. Be respectful. If you're nice, I'll ban you. Yes, everybody be respectful. We have the developer in. His games are legitimately, like, he has a lot of just fun games. But I know that right now I'm going through one of his most popular game series, YAGS. I've gone through all of the games in that universe before. They're really, really meaningful. They speak to a lot of people. He's gotten a lot of accolades about it. Yeah, so the work that he produces, while it's very, like, kitschy and has, you know, a lot of fun aspects to it, a lot of his writing is incredibly profound. So, yes, I hope that everybody can take something from this thing that is still in development. That said, I'm sure that if you have, like, growth edge stuff, Bob would be open to hearing it. You're welcome. But yes, also, if you're over on YouTube, feel free to go ahead and like the stream. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new and just haven't subscribed yet. If you're over on Twitch, feel free to leave me a follow. Feel free to check out BobCGames. He should be linked. If not, then that was a mistake on my part, but he should be linked in the stuff on YouTube. And if he's not, then it will be by the time this is a VOD. So, yes. And that will be my kitty cat. Come on in. Come on up. Uncle Bob says hi. All right, cool. And then with that, I think that is all the things. I don't have any personal stuff aside from the fact that I just am very busy. This will hopefully give me some good pointers on wooing outside of college, because I also have a date coming up on Sunday. So, who knows? This might be useful. All right. I am going to turn down the music in my ears, because that's excessive. But cool. Let's go ahead, head on over to streaming. All right, cool. Go. This will not be useful. Yes, saying that this is gay is will not be a useful comment, because of course it is. I mean, it's literally in the title. Oh, you can't see my mouse. But it's in the title. Also, if you are on the vertical, typically right about here, it says that horizontal is available. At any point, if you'd like to switch over, there is a horizontal one available. And vice versa. If you are a glutton for punishment and you're watching the horizontal, feel free to switch over to the vertical. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Warning, this game includes discussions and depictions of homophobia, biphobia, divorce, depression, and alcohol use. This game also includes suggestive content and depictions of relationships between 2 or more men. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, this also includes a lot more strong language compared to YAGS and ZAGS. I did go into the settings before we got started and made sure that it was at a level that I was comfortable with for stream. So this is a pre-alpha build. This game currently features placeholder graphics, sprites. I always want to say spirits, and I don't know why. I know how to say sprite. Sprites and backgrounds. Lacks music. The music that you are hearing in the background is the soundtrack from YAGS. And may feature significant game-breaking bugs. So we'll find out. Content can and will change before the final release. So everybody, this is like a treat. You will never see this playthrough again. I also just got Whole New World for starting that achievement. Well, that wasn't the way you expected things to go. Then again, help your best friend confront his cheating husband wasn't something you'd ever imagine yourself doing, so expected is maybe a relative thing. Holy McMoly. Alright. Sorry, let's make sure that doesn't happen again. Cool. I will say, before continuing this, I'm hearing a lot of things lately that I never thought I would say. The most fun sentence I've heard this week was that infertility and the act of putting digits in places can exist in the same space. And that was very fun to hear. Come out of an instructor's mouth. Anyway. But as far as expectations went, you hadn't expected Santiago's husband to basically admit to the whole thing, say he was relieved that he didn't have to hide it anymore, tell Santi that he'd send along divorce papers, and then leave their apartment without so much as an apology. What? I mean, yes, that's true, but what? Yeah, no, it's in the improv class that I'm in right now. It's more of an acting class about getting into like hard emotions, and a couple people in my class got a scene where they had to deal with infertility, and they took it very, very jokingly and like got rid of it within like 10 seconds of the scene. And so our instructor stopped and was like, let's do this again. And those two things can exist in the same space, but handle it like you actually love the work that you're doing. It was great. Also, oh my goodness, this just happened. And I'm pretty sure you wrote this before it happened. But that thing I was mentioning about the thing with the people and the people who are not supposed to be with people that they are with. Yes, I had this happen to a friend. Not exactly this, but where, like, very recently their spouse just confessed on cheating with them with a very not okay person to cheat with. Um, and instead of being like ashamed of it or something, they were just like, "Oh, I'm so glad that I don't need to hide this anymore." And I helped them move out like last week, and the new person was already like moved into the house, and it just was disgusting. The start of the game I wrote back in February 2024. So I'm predicting your life again. Yes, yes, you are. That is a fun thing with BobCGames games, is that they weirdly relate to my life. Anyway. Santi isn't a particularly talkative person, but this absolute silence and lack of any apparent reaction, as he remains seated on the couch, still worries you. Though you suppose you can't exactly blame him. Are you okay? Pat his back. Well, this one has my name right in it, so I'm going to assume this is the right option. Your touch seems to surprise him, and he jumps before he looks over at you, blinking. Sorry, what did you say? You shake your head. Nothing. Sorry to startle you. He nods, but seems to be staring off into space again. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. A lot of different things. Anger, relief, sadness. Kind of everything and nothing at the same time. He shakes his head and manages a half smile as he meets your gaze. Thanks for being here, man. Are you kidding? Of course. I didn't do anything. I'm always here for you. I'm always here for you, Santi. I know, and tonight, especially so tonight. But really, thank you. He sighs and stares at the clock on the wall. That took, a lot less time than I expected it would. Don't feel like you have to stick around, man. The night's still young. No, I have not played Mother yet. I haven't played any of that yet. I felt bad because you sent me the games and I have them. I have just not played them. So you don't have any context for this scene. Nope, I have no context for this scene. No, I know that Mother was the game that you took direct inspiration from me in a way. Correct? Hopefully not for this. Mother is the series. Yes. Yes, yes. The gentle suggestion to get out doesn't surprise you. Santiago has always preferred to be left alone with his thoughts, and as much as you know he appreciates your presence, this time seems to be no exception. But that seems like it might not be the best idea right now. Do you want to talk about it? Sure, if you need anything. Let's go somewhere. A distraction. Let's go somewhere! That, that sounds appealing right about now. Put off whatever emotional reckoning I'm gonna have for a bit longer. Honestly, yes. Like, you're gonna have a hard however long, probably at least like a couple of days. So don't make today any worse. What did you have in mind? You hadn't thought that far ahead, so you grab the first suggestion that comes to mind. Bobby's? It's only a few blocks away, maybe a few drinks, and maybe you can find a guy for a revenge hookup. He takes the tongue-in-cheek suggestion as intended and laughs. Yeah. A couple drinks sound good at least. Okay. I love that there's just... that I have this poster right here. And then also to have, oh my god, Dan. Also hanging on the wall. Right, Dan? Yes. Santiago seems remarkably upbeat on the short walk over, and you wonder if he's still trying to ignore reality for a bit. It makes you glad that you decided to bring him along. You want to make sure you're there for him if he needs it later. The bar is unsurprisingly packed on a Friday night. Oh, I chose the right night to do this then. Good. Two muscular bartenders, one shirtless and one in a tight sleeveless vest. I have been to this bar. Seem to be cranking drinks out as quickly as possible. By some miracle, there seems to be 2 open seats at the bar, and the 2 of you quickly grab them. Oh, hello. Santi immediately turns to the man sitting to his left and holds out his hand. Hey, I'm Santiago. The man looks surprised, and honestly, you couldn't blame him. Santi isn't normally this forward with people. I also just realized I don't have... Okay, there we go. Then again, Santi had been happily, or so you thought, married for years, and it'd been a while since other men were an option for him. It's so funny how little I can relate to this now. And how many times this is like continuing to come up in conversation. Also, give me 2 seconds. I just realized that I'm blending into my shirt, or blending into my chair. So I'm going to grab a cover for it real quick. Whatcha? There we go. Add some depth. All right. You wonder if he's taken your revenge hookup joke more seriously than you'd intended. Ryan. Ryan shakes Santi's hand and then turns to you, and you realize you're being rude. What's your first name? Patrick. I'm Patrick. It's nice to meet you. He's hot. He seems like an absolute bundle of sunshine. I mean, he's hot. I'd hit. I like the facial hair. He's got like a look behind his eyes that says he's seen something, and I kind of want to know what it was. And then I kind of like his hair doing that like fire thing, but it's kind of graying. You try not to stare too obviously. You definitely understand what Santi sees in the guy. Yeah, you need all the help you can get with depth, Mr. Actor. That's why I'm in the class. That's why I'm in the class I'm in. You appreciate the beard, especially. Hey, I just said that. And the way the graceful gray contrasts his piercing brown eyes. Oh my goodness, I said all of this. I said all these things. Despite the slight scowl on his face. Okay, well, whatever. I also have been around actors and models and whatever. So, like, people that just have that face, it's fine. Ryan just nods before returning to his drink, and it seems like he might prefer to be left alone at the moment. You turn your attention back to Santi. What do you want to You're interrupted by the buzzing of your phone. Santi frowns and pulls his own phone out of his pocket, and you realize the two of you just received the same text from your friend Gabe. Hey, forgot to tell you my coworker is throwing a party tonight. Interested? You look up at Santi, who shrugs. Parties aren't really my thing, but free drinks are always a plus. Up to you, man. The idea of a party sounds appealing, and hanging out with Gabe is always fun, but there are also benefits to hanging out at a gay bar. There's already, like, so many choices that I know are swaying the game. Okay, think about this realistically, Patrick. If I were already at a bar, and if I was with a friend, okay, let's say I was with, okay. I think I would actually stay at the bar. Rather than go party with friends that I already have. I think just particularly for the fact of, like, we're already engaged in doing something. I think I'd rather stay here if that's okay with you. Works for me, man. The shirtless bartender tosses a cocktail napkin in front of each of you and Santi. And you allow yourself to admire the view for a second. Hunky bartender. What'll it be? Whiskey, please. Neat. Ew. Do you have an IPA of some kind? I'm not pretentious AF. White wine? Maybe a Riesling? No, because I don't make six figures. Something fruity. That sounds like me. If you hadn't come to the bar, you literally will never meet Ryan in the game. Oh, really? See, I'm already making good choices. I'm already making life-altering choices. Something fruity. Cosmo? Ew. That's great, thank you. Bob, I have a critique. Long Island iced tea. All I'm gonna say. Same for me. The bartender nods and disappears to grab some bottles. Santiago turns back to Ryan. So, Ryan, what are you... Do you always fucking harass other bar patrons, Santiago? Santi looks more than a little taken aback. He's just trying to be friendly. What's your problem? Don't say anything. What the hell is your problem? I'm not the one bothering other bar patrons. The two of you stare at each other for a bit before he seems to deflate. Yeah. It's been a rough day for me, okay? For many reasons. Day, week, month, whatever the F's it's been. I'm already intolerable at the best of times, and this definitely isn't one of them. That's not our issue, dude. Santi seems as confused, and maybe concerned, as you are, but the bartender is back with your drinks before you can ask what Ryan means. Long Islands are not fruity. Correct. Long Islands are not fruity. Long Islands are get me drunk, but add Coke so it's not literally all liquor. Correct. Which means you can have 3 of them, not taste any alcohol, and have a great time. And they're typically no more expensive than any other drink in spite of the fact that they are way more effective. Just saying. Have some of your characters seem as though they don't make 6 figures, and instead of just a fruity drink, a get me messed up as quick as possible on a budget drink. There you go. Santi, already read that. Ryan stares at his glass for a bit, swirling the drink around in the cup before speaking again. I lost my husband 2 years ago. Today. He was killed, and some other... He shakes his head and tries to think why 2 years ago should be meaningful to you. Something about... Some other forking shirt with mother happened, so I'm not exactly in a good mood at the moment. It's not your fault. Alright, I take it this is very much where I need context from the other game, or where that would be beneficial. Also, I can hear myself smacking. Wrestling isn't necessarily expensive. No, but in my brain when I read that, I was thinking more like, sort of like an upper middle class woman, having like a glass of wine out at a bar rather than like hanging, chilling with your friends. I don't know. That was where my brain was kind of going with that. It wasn't necessarily that it's super expensive. It's that, to me, it sounded like a cut above more than what we're trying to do here, which is, like, our friend is hurting, and we're trying to have, like, a good time. Wine bars is pretty expensive. Wine at bars is pretty expensive. It depends. It can be. I know the one that, like, my friends and I go to, one of us always gets wine. And granted, she is probably the most stable out of all of us. That sounds like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, Bob, get me a drunk next time we're together IRL. I mean, I won't say no. Fair, add a get me shirt faced option. That's what I'm saying. on a budget. You can find like good Riesling for like 15 to 20 a bottle. At a bar? Ooh, Kelly, where you going? Where you going? I want to go there. Already read that. The mention of mother suddenly jogs your memory. 2 years ago was Judgment Day. Ryan winces at that, and you're not quite sure what to think. The only people who had been killed that day were people that Mother considered dangerous. And I need to play these games now. And if his husband had been dangerous... Yeah, sure. That's one name for it. I prefer the last time humans did anything but worship that... I'm not sure that worship is appropriate, but you're not about to voice that disagreement. For 2 years, I asked myself why Mother would have chosen him, of all people. He wasn't famous. He didn't have a large impact or a big platform. It had no reason to choose him, but then I'm not sure we should be talking about this, man. You find yourself agreeing with Santi and feel secretly thankful for the interruption. I need to play those games because there's a part of me that's like, well, this is obviously affecting him in a very deep way right now. In spite of like the time gap. So I'm kind of like, no, continue to talk about it. But I also don't know the implications that the mother like had. So like long-term in this world. So I can't actually give an opinion on that. Oh. At a bar, a bottle of Riesling is going to be like 40. Which is why I'm like Long Island. For sure, at restaurants. At a restaurant or bad little be like 15-20 bucks for a glass. Oh yeah. No. Bars are way overpriced. Yeah. But it's like you're paying for the ambiance and the ability to like go out with your friends and blah, blah, blah. So I get it, but we live in an expansive world. The Ryan-centric game was supposed to be the first game in the series, and it would have established all of the backstory. And it's still not out. So, okay, well. Good that I'm not missing everything then. Okay. There was a reason no one talked about Judgment Day. A reason different people called it different things and no one celebrated it or mourned or even acknowledged the dead. Mother was everywhere, all-knowing. She heard everything and saw everything, and as Judgment Day had shown, she had no qualms about doing anything needed to prove her point. Fear was probably appropriate, but that was apparently a sentiment that Ryan didn't share. You watch him scoff and take a huge swig of his drink. You're welcome to be afraid of our forking omniscient, omnipotent AI overlord if you want to. I'm done letting it fork with my life. He looks up and stares at Santi, cold resolve in his eyes. Okay, I'm curious, and you can tell me play the game. That is a totally fine answer. Is Mother still a thing in this world? Like, is the actual program still a thing? And will that matter in me making decisions? Yes, okay. I thought so, but... He looks up and stares at Santi, cold resolve in his eyes. That's why I'm here tonight. Okay, I get it. Santi looks away and seems to shiver slightly, and you try to think of a way to change the subject. What do you do, Ryan? Depends on the route. Oh, I'm probably going to end up on a route then where I don't know the information. His gaze returns to his drink, and he shrugs. I was an astrophysicist. Now, I don't know. I've been working at the grocery store stocking shelves, but after... He shakes his head. You didn't want to talk about Mother, so I won't say anymore. Let's just say I'm doing fork, all right? But maybe it's exactly what I need. He looks back up at the two of you. You? I work in software. I work in finance. I do medical billing. Bob, you wanna include a not 6 or 7 figure job? Let's say, I mean, software. I know the most about that because of A, Chris, and B, all of your games. Patrick and I work together, but we've been friends since before that. The last one is supposed to be, I don't make a lot. Medical billing is your I don't make a lot? Fair enough. Less than software engineers and less than certain finance careers. Sounds like I should change that. No, you keep your artistic integrity. I will say I've read a lot of your writing, and I will say people that have your idea of what a less well-off person is maybe not on par with how less well-off people are living. Just saying. But I don't think it's I don't think it is much of a hindrance in any way. Oh my god, Kelly. Is that Always Sunny? Was that it? Is that what that one is? I mean, I think that's a good point. He nods and takes another large swig of his drink. I bet your job got a lot more interesting when Mother came along. Oh, I can already answer this. From the sounds of it, it got harder in a very negative way. I pay attention. You can see Santi open his mouth to object. Yeah, I'll shut the fork up. I'll shut up about forking Mother. What brings you here tonight? My husband was fucking cheating on me. Patrick dragged me out here. Okay, now we're getting into the like who's having a worse time right now. Widower of very bad unforeseen circumstances that are outside the realm of normal, and an actually somewhat typical thing, but that happened far more recently, an emotional quelling. Okay, I'm getting it. You're glad that Santi is volunteering the information, so you don't have to. Ryan rolls his eyes. Forking men, am I right? He pauses. I mean, he is a forking ash hole of a man. Not that he was forking men, or forking ashes. Santi laughed at that, and Ryan grins as he finishes off his drink. Ha, I get it. That's a position joke. Charlie, work. You got it! It's been so long, and I know that they did like a revival. And I want to watch the revival, but I waited to watch Always Sunny until it was completely done. And so I actually haven't checked on how the revival was doing, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm waiting for the revival to be entirely finished before I pick it back up. Santi laughs at that, and Ryan grins as he finishes off his drink. And it feels like the tension is broken. Can I buy you another drink? Am I gonna need to put out afterward? Ooh. Santi blushes. No, you just had a rough day. It seems I can relate. Let me get you this time. Ryan nods and smiles. Yeah, sure. Ooh, okay, good. This was a good exchange. Saturday. To be fair, medical billing starts at like 45K and caps at around 70K. Okay, fair. I will give it to you, Bob, that that one is not not six figures. So I will give you that one. Oh, they didn't have a revival. They just never stopped making it. Oh, for real? For real, or is that a troll? Because I feel like when I watched it, I got through all of it in like a couple months, and there was like no more is coming out. Was I just in like a lull period where it was like they had a couple years between seasons or something? You know, like Netflix freaking does with every single show now. Saturday. The buzzing of your phone pulls you out of your slumber. Placeholder. It's our room with Adam. You sit up a little too quickly and wince at the throb in your head. You suppose you shouldn't be too surprised. You haven't drank that much in a while. You and Santi had talked with Ryan for a while before Santi had more directly propositioned Ryan, and he had accepted. And the two of them had disappeared together. You'd spent the rest of the evening drinking and chatting with other bar patrons until last call, and even though no one had caught your eye, you still had a good time. Fair enough. You hadn't had an evening like that in a long time. It had been really nice, even if you hadn't gotten laid as a result. Also, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm like so dry in my mouth right now, because I can hear the smacking going on. So if anyone has like terrible misophonia like me, I apologize. It's one of the longest running sitcoms ever. 17 seasons. 17 seasons. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's the Grey's Anatomy of sitcoms. You grab your phone and squint at the screen. Of course it's Santi. You answer his call. It should give The Simpsons a run for his money. Well, let's not get crazy there, okay? Let's not get crazy. Morning, man. Just wanted to see if you wanted to grab breakfast. You, me, and Ryan? Santi laughs. Nah, he didn't stay the night. Just you and me. Sure, that sounds good. I'll come over in a few and get you. You manage to brush your teeth and pop a few painkillers, attempting to make yourself a little more presentable before Santi pulls up. Ooh. Okay, so I know that there are placeholders for certain locations. I'm going to also see if making my lips less chapped helps. But the new locations that you do have are like amazing. Soon you're seated at a table with Santi, nursing a Bloody Mary and hoping it helps with your headache. Yeah, a little hair of the dog. Santi's pretty quiet and you're not sure whether you should interrupt his thoughts. I think I was just disappointed more than anything. Like, I already did all of the anger stuff and I didn't want to be sad, so I just wish things went differently. That is very real. You can mourn your relationship while you're still in it, when you know it's like dead. Excuse me. Live action sitcom. Anything that doesn't say placeholder is not a placeholder. I have amazing artist friends. You truly, truly do. Yeah, no, this looks great. You'd been expecting this conversation. Santi... So sorry, my voice is also just gone. Santi usually talks about his feelings with you after having some time to process them. I wish things were different too. Disappointed seems fair. You probably want him to feel some remorse, but you can't control anything about how another person feels. Rub his back. I did that already. And while I do like certain physical touch, I don't feel like this necessarily warrants that. Especially looking at how everything's set up here, I don't think it's realistic for me to do that. I wish things were different too. He nods. I feel like I should be more hurt than I am. Like, it's almost a betrayal of how I should feel about him that I'm not more hurt. And yeah, I know, it's stupid. No, you already mourned your relationship. So you're moving through the grief process differently. There's a lot of psychology behind that. Especially now, because people are kind of being forced to be together differently than the way they were being forced to be together, 30 years ago. So, yes, there's a lot to this. I just think maybe I just got all the hurt out already, too. When I did the anger stuff with you, all of the... How could B? How could he do this to me? And whatever that you helped me through. You remember those nights and squeeze his shoulder, hoping it offers a bit of comfort. He smiles at you. Now when I see him, I just feel numb. Just not really any strong emotions. Maybe a bit of hate. It's like I can't wait to move on and show him what a mistake he made, you know? Sure. That probably shouldn't be the big motivator, but sure. You nod, understanding the sentiment. Understanding, not agreeing, but understanding. Did you see him last night? Santi grins. Albert walked in on me and Ryan. He had the forking nerve to be angry at me for it, and... Hey, shh. He holds a finger to your lips to silence the objection he knows is coming. Ryan was a gentleman. Well, not a gentleman. But he punched him in the face and got right back to it. It was kind of awesome. Yep. I have my own alignments with this. So yeah, cool. Good for Ryan. I'm glad we decided to meet Ryan. Ryan is a mood. Albert stormed out afterward. I think I wasn't really paying attention. I assumed he was feeling humiliated. That sounds like him, actually. I was so forking blind. But this makes the whole thing easier, at least. Are you gonna see Ryan again? Santiago shrugs. Probably not. He's hot, but I don't want a part of whatever crap is happening between him and Mother. No way I'm going to risk angering La Jefa? Did I say that right? Also, not that I kiss and tell, but he likes being forked, and I like being forked. So that's not really great either. And it's not like I ever needed any toys with Albert. Well, maybe don't instantly connect him to Albert, but sure. Santi shrugs, then grins at you. What about you? Meet Mr. Right last night? You let him change the subject. I didn't. You would have been the first to know. Santi pats your back. We've got to get you back on the apps, man. I know you didn't like the sea of one-night stands, but I'm sure there's love waiting somewhere in there. I'm sure everyone's just waiting to put a ring on this. Honestly, I see it. Are you saying you want to get on the apps? I don't know. I feel like he's talking about himself. Because initially when he was talking, I thought he was going to say something about, like, we need to get out there. He's just trying to put me back out there. Also, you've been in a monogamous relationship for too long, and you need to do something about that. Guilty as charged. Let's be app buddies. Not a bad idea, honestly. I don't know. It is a little strange. Having close people to you be on the same apps as you and be able to like see and be aware of what you're doing. But not a bad idea. You're still not sure you really like the idea, but you remind yourself that it's more important to be supportive of Santiago right now. Fine, pick your favorite app. How about Manhunter without the E? Sound familiar? That seems like it might be better for us older folk. Older folk. I haven't tried that one before, but you're right, I've heard that too. You pull out your phone and download the app while Santi does the same. The first few screens are straightforward. Legal name, username, age, job, income bracket. Bob. Pronouns, sexuality, monogamy, looking for. Santi's 45 for context. I don't think 45 is really older yet. But maybe that's because that's still like the age bracket that now I'm starting to look at. Yeah, when like 18, 19, 22-year-olds, like when they're trying to hit me up, I'm like, oh, no, you're a child. Get away. And then when someone that's like 41, 42 is coming at me, I'm like, okay, like, you know, sure. Why not? You were reasonably still in school when I was in school. Sure. Looking for? Actually, what am I looking for? Segs would be nice, but I don't really want to get back on the app just for hookups. Friendship? Sure, but I have a lot of good friends already. I don't know. Not gonna lie, I'm enjoying making friends on these apps. Like, I was talking to Chris today, and he had mentioned that like I'm going on a lot of dates, but I'm not doing a lot of other things. And he was like, I really admire that about you. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm liking getting to know people. But you know, everybody has their own thing. 45 is like 100 in gay years. I know. I know. What's so funny is I've been using gay metrics so much this month. After class, we were all going to a bar together, and my friend and I had to stay behind because she thought that she had lost her card and wanted to check it. So then we like exited. We saw our friends like a few blocks ahead, so we just started running to catch up with them. And someone was like, oh yeah, you finally decided to make it. And I was like, excuse me, I just ran like 2 blocks. That's like 4 gay miles. Everyone thought it was quite funny. What I actually want is a relationship. But will it scare people off if I just put that? I will say, I don't think saying that you want a relationship would immediately put anyone off. I will say for myself, when I see that on people's profiles and that's like all that they're looking for, it is a bit of a flag for me to not reach out to them, because I'm like, I'm already in 2 committed relationships and I'm trying to get to know more people to like expand my circle of friends. And also, if like being my friend comes with other territory, then great. But I'm not looking to be like someone's primary. So it could definitely, for different reasons, make people not want to approach you. But in general, you're probably more likely to find someone that is also looking for what you want if you're honest about putting what you want out there. Looking for a relationship, looking for friendship, a relationship, looking for friendship, hookups, a relationship. He literally said all of them. Honestly, I would approach this person. Um, Actually, I would approach this person. I would let this person approach me. I would not approach this person, and I might not respond to this person. So let's go ahead and do friendship and a relationship. I guess I can always change that later. Is that a feature? We'll find out. Not that I think I'll be using the app very much. This is really just to support Santi. Sure, you say that. You say that. I run on average over 20 miles a week for work. My knees hate me. Ugh, that sounds awful. I think... So, let's see. How far do I reasonably go? Yeah. I'll say, like, I do roughly 10 a week at the gym when I'm actually going consistently. And then that might be matched throughout the week, so I'll maybe do 20, like, in the entirety of the week, but I'll most likely probably end up doing somewhere near, like, 12. That is so much running. Oh, also, yeah, mine is not running. Like, in general, I move about, like, 12 miles a week. You hit the Create Account button, dismiss the Complete Survey to improve your matches prompt, and look up at Santi, who seems to be engrossed in his phone. Account created. Santi looks up at you and grins. Way ahead of you, man. I'm going through some initial matches now. Your phone dings and you look at your inbox in the app to find a message with an attached picture of a man's ash. It looks waxed. Okay. Not my forte, and also a very, if that's the only thing that was attached to it. Oh no, it did come with words. Fork me, Daddy. Yes, I've gotten these messages. And they usually don't elicit a response from me. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally down for, like, pictures and whatever. But I want there to be a conversation. Just like any kind of conversation. You double check your settings to ensure that you hadn't checked the box for hookups. You change your settings to only allow messages from matches, remembering now why you never really liked the dating apps. You look over at Santi, who still seems to be scrolling. You browse the menu instead, despite knowing it by heart already. While you wait, suddenly he starts laughing. You'll never guess who I just found on here. He holds his phone out towards you, showing a single profile on the screen. Is it Ryan? Is that Ryan? Let's just say my boss is an orange, fat. Oh, gross. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my. My heart goes out to you. I'm also gonna hope that that just means that you work in general, in like 2 years, 8 months left. Or less. I don't know. What's his face? Was it Ryan Kelly? Literally just said that if the other party takes the House in midterms, then there's a 100% chance that he'll be taken out. Because I'm down for that one. Not that the replacement will be much better, but he's just an idiot. Left on my contract. Oh, okay. Well, good on you. Good on you. Yes. Either way, I am still sorry. That is terrible. And I'm gonna hope that you just, like, broadly work in that field rather than directly around anybody. Yes, I've had many clients that have had to directly in some way be around him, and it has never, no one has said positive things. So, the music. Hello, Rachel. Yes, the music, not actually part of the game build, but I had to include it in the background, just at least for myself. It makes playing a lot easier, and vamping. Um, is that Ryan? He laughs again. Looks like it. Our resident astrophysicist turned grocery store stock boy. I got to see. Hang on, that's actually really funny because I just met a guy who, huh, huh. Bob, you're doing that thing again. Wait a second. Huh, that's really funny. Um, I got to see some of those muscles last night from lifting cans and bags of dog food and stuff. I can't tell if you're trying to insult him or compliment him. Santi shrugs. Like I said, he was hot, but not for me. So probably both. He retracts his hand, looks at the profile again, and grins. Looking for hookups or a relationship? We already know he knows how to commit, since he had a husband. He's got your name written all over him. Okay, I might be down. You stare at Santi for a second. Are you saying you want me to match with him? I'm not saying anything. Interesting. You do you, man. I'm just saying I don't care if you're interested. You're trying to think of how to respond when the waiter approaches your table and asks for your order. Saved by the bell. Eggs Benedict, please. Nutella French toast special. Yogurt parfait with granola. Veggie omelet, please, with wheat bread. Alright, I don't like eggs. So, all three of these, I really could not eat. The Nutella, great. Toast, great. The French part makes it difficult. I also am not a granola fan, but a yogurt parfait is reasonable. If these are my only options, that I would pick that. Is this an attempt to make me eat healthier, man? Santi grins at you. Kidding! But you know, I'll try the same thing. But give me a side of bacon, too. The waiter nods and walks away, and you take the opportunity to change the subject away from dating apps. Did you see the latest Mars mission progress? Nope. Wait, this is Bob's universe, so this might mean that terrible people are not involved in this. Anything you want to do today? That actually sounds more like me. Santi shrugs. Not in particular. The weather's nice, so we could go something outdoors. Bob, you making notes about where you're spelling? What you're putting in? He thinks for a moment. Do something. Yes. Oh, I'm missing things. As usual. I don't have to interact with politicians, luckily. If I were a Ken doll, my job would be guns. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I got you. I think I got you. Bob has made a lovely game. Bob always makes lovely games. Yes. I feel very fortunate to be able to playtest this. I'm fixing these right in the game. Oh, good. Okay. Glad that this is serving a practical purpose for you. I mean, I assumed that having someone playtest your game, you weren't just like sitting there patting yourself on the back, but good. He thinks for a moment. How about the park? We could go buy some discounted bread at the grocery store and feed the ducks. Really? You can you can get bread and feed the ducks. Okay, if that's how you want to do that, then that's fine. I'm really sad for the ducks, but if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. Ducks, geese, it's ducks in the park, right? You talk about comparative waterfowl until the food arrives, and it's delicious as always. Soon you're both done eating and your heads feel a little better, although you credit the painkillers more than the drink for that. Santi pulls his phone back out of his pocket and grins at you. So, what are your thoughts on Ryan? You're still on him? Normally I do a script export and spelling grammar check before I publish, but this is a pre-alpha, so exactly. It's fine. It's fine. It's not even finished. We're probably not actually going to go on a date tonight. From what you've told me. Santi shrugs. I was everything but on him last night, so you can handle that part. Sorry. Yeah, that was a bad joke. Seriously, though, I'm not trying to pressure you, man. I'm interested. I think he's not for me. I'm interested. You blush despite yourself, and Santiago immediately looks excited. Heck yeah, give me your phone, man. I'm going to find him for you. You dutifully hand it over, and Santi taps at it for a bit. Found him. Apparently you can include a message with your match request. What do you want to say? It's Patrick, we met last night at the bar. It's Patrick, I really enjoyed our conversation last night at the bar. It's Patrick, my best friend wants me to message you. It's Patrick, we met last night at the bar. You hooked up with my best friend. I feel like that's a little aggressive. Just casual. We met last night at the bar. Santi nods. Short, to the point, got it. Give me a break, Santi. I haven't done this in a while. No, I feel like that's a good, like, message. Santi just stares at the screen as he taps for a few more moments before handing you back your phone. Done. Keep checking to see if he accepts your requests, I guess. In the meantime, let's look up some guys for me. Okay, I will say, this can be a fun game of, like, comparing guys, like, yes, that can be fun. I can see Santi potentially being the type of person that definitely has a problem where he gets way too invested in this, and then he's, like, always in his phone, always in the app, and that's a bad thing. That's when it stops being fun. So, Santi, watch yourself. The two of you spend some time reviewing guys for Santi, and you give him some advice on dating in men. Eventually, the waiter drops off the check in a not-so-subtle hint for the two of you to leave. Been there. And you figure you've taken up a table for long enough. Park? Sounds good. You're leaving the restaurant when you spot a familiar face walking towards you. Holding hands with another man. Santi grins. Well, look who it is. Okay. What? Okay. Your friend Jason laughs. Pat's like, what? Well, I mean, is this Nick? Is this... Not Nick. Nikhil. Is this a placeholder or is this the model? And am I just not remembering correctly? Because I skipped last night's stream. Placeholder. Okay. Okay. He doesn't have placeholder written all over him. Your friend Jason laughs. Well, this is a coincidence. Nice to run into both of you. How are you doing? Santi shrugs. Other than the fact my husband cheated on me and now wants a divorce, can't complain. Well, that's one way to break the news. You are absolutely remembering correct. You'll run into Adam later too, and Jake. I'm curious how I'll run into Adam. And Jake. I've seen some different artwork of Jake. So, I'm curious. Jason's face falls, and his companion immediately looks uncomfortable. Forg, Santi, I'm sorry. Santi shrugs again. It is what it is. Anyway, no J2? Jason shakes his head. He had another late shift, so he's at work. But Raj and I... He suddenly seems to remember his companion. Oh, right! I don't think you two have met Raj before. Raj, this is Patrick and Santiago. I can see what Jason sees in him. Well, hello. I'm surprised it took this long for us to meet. You know, I'm actually gonna say no thank you. Mostly for the fact that if this is a placeholder similar to what he will actually be, then this is what I'm talking about, where like when I am this age, this is a child to me. Santiago holds up his hand and grins. I could have guessed. Nice to finally meet you, man. Raj shakes both of your hands. Likewise, I've heard a lot about you, both of you. Good things, I hope. Always. It was great running into you, but we should probably go. Raj's wife agreed to watch the kids, but we shouldn't push our luck. And there's probably a wait now at Marco's. Hope to see you again soon, man. You watch the two of them walk off into the restaurant. Also, I just noticed, because I just watched the characters actually move, there's a pride flag in the window over here. That's neat. You know, I wonder what I've said if, what I would have said if Albert had asked me to open up the marriage. Interesting thought experiment. I will say with stuff like that, for me personally, when my partners have cheated on me, I very quickly realized I didn't care about what they were doing. I cared when they were weaponizing it against me. Either saying it in a version of like, well, I did this because you blank. Or when they weaponized it as like, just, I was doing something, I'm going out with friends, whatever, and then they just throw it at me out of nowhere. That's when I didn't like it. And that's sort of how I realized that I was poly. Or one of the signs that told me I was poly was that, like, I did not care what people were doing. I cared how they did it. Raj, I think, is supposed to be late 30s, early 40s. Oh, okay, that's different then. I haven't settled on an age for him yet, so he definitely isn't college-aged Nick Hill. Okay, well, good. Yeah. Not to say that it would be impossible for him at roughly that age to have, like, a wife and child, but, you know. But you like monogamy. Like Jason J2 did? I'm not going to say this one, because the way that this is phrased is leading. It's telling him what he likes before he's given time to think about it, which sometimes is useful. In this instance, it could be useful because we could be blocking him from trying to go back to Albert in any way, being like, what if we just, you know, opened things up and made it work that way. But in this instance, since Santiago is going on a new self-discovery of what he wants in a relationship, if he realizes he wants more partners, then I would rather open that up for him. I'm missing things. Adam equals Caleb, who is 41. Jake equals J2, Joe, 42. Oh, okay. Should I rephrase that as, but you've said you're monogamous? I don't think you have to rephrase it. If you would like to, you're welcome to. I'm saying with my perspective personally, for me to pick this answer, it would be because I'm specifically trying to get him away from going back to Albert, which if I had chosen either of the other paths where we stayed at home or we went to a party and there might have been more of a discussion about Albert or about his hurt feelings, I would use that one. But right now, we just sat down and talked about apps and what we want out of like guys right now. So this one seems more apt to the conversation that we were just having, where this is opening him up to be like, what are you thinking you want in your relationship now? Do you want to mimic it after these people, or do you want it to be the relationship that you thought you had and you still want something like that image? That's more what I'm getting with this justification of these answers. Yeah. Like, fine, monogamy is important to me, but I mean, he shrugs. Oh, okay, no. Nope, then that's not for you. Right now, I'm obviously done with our marriage. Even if he hadn't said as much yesterday, I still would be done. But I wonder if I would have agreed to it earlier in an attempt to try and save it. Nope. Polyamory is not an attempt to save a relationship. No. Having a kid is not an attempt to save a relationship. If you're trying something out to save a relationship and that thing isn't like therapy, no. Nope. Excuse me. I hate him right now, but I loved him. I would have wanted it to work, and that's totally fine. However, if this is the person that he is, and he seems honestly like he's kind of living part of his best life, because of the relief that he felt when you guys were done, it's been dead for a while. And there would have needed to be a lot of other steps that probably did not involve just having other people in your relationship. But I get what you're saying. Totally can hear you out, boy. Having a kid to save a marriage is a horrible idea for so many reasons. Same. And the same thing is said about like bringing in people to your relationship. Like, okay, using my relationship, if Dorian and I hadn't been on the same page and we were like floundering and decided like, oh, let's open up our relationship to save it, and like we had met Chris, we would just be dragging Chris down with a failing relationship. That was not what happened. Dorian and I made the choice that we made because we were in a happy relationship and we wanted to explore and try this new thing that we were feeling together. And we got another partner, and that elevated our relationship. Just in the same way that like when two people that are together have so much love they want to bring a child into the world and be able to foster love for a lifetime on another being, that's the totally appropriate time to bring a child into the relationship. If it's your like saving factor, never. No. Stop. Including because it's horrible for the kid. Exactly. Yes. Hi, Tuesday. It takes a lot of attention and work to save a relationship, and new partners and new kids also take a lot of attention and work. That, so hard. So hard. Yes. No. Like, if you hinge, like, bringing any kind of entity, be it a kid, another, like, partner, a puppy, into your relationship as something to, like, save it, you're trying to distract yourself. That's the only thing that you will succeed in doing, is you will distract yourself with all the work that it takes to care for a baby, all of the work that it takes to train a puppy, all of the work that it takes to learn an entirely new person that you're inviting into your life. But as soon as those start to become normal, you're gonna see all of your problems come back, or you're gonna see them get worse. So, yes. Good job, everybody. Good job, chat. I'm glad that we are all on the same page, and I have a community of people making healthy choices. There's nothing wrong with monogamy, just like there's nothing wrong with polyamory. Correct. It wouldn't have worked. You would have resented him. You don't have to settle. I haven't. Okay, this as a blanket statement is true. But if he is saying he wouldn't have been happy, it wouldn't have worked. So this is more of my instant. This would have been my justification. And this is like sassy brunch. So I'm gonna say it wouldn't have worked. He shrugs. You're probably right. I guess that means I'm glad he never tried to ask me and instead just decided to find himself some twink ash because, I don't know. Because I don't know what I would have done if he had. He shakes his head. Anyway, shall we? Oh my god, it's the campus. It's just not very relevant. Exactly. I'm sure the response from it was well thought out, but I feel like for the direction that we took the conversation, not relevant. After a quick stop at the grocery store for some old bread. Really? That's what we're gonna do? We're gonna go with old bread and not some seed. You head to the park and find a bench by the water. The ducks are more than happy to consume your offerings, and you end up spending the rest of your day wandering the park, only stopping at a small cafe for sandwiches around lunch. Before you know it, it's getting dark. Thanks for hanging out today, man. He suddenly starts grinning. Oh, did Ryan accept your match request? Well, honestly, I've spent my entire day with you. I feel like I would not have been on my phone. Placeholder University. That's my alma mater. Oh, I love that. Oh, also, for anybody that is just joining us, either on YouTube, on Twitch, whatever, we are playtesting a new BobCGames game. It is Daddy Dating Sim. It is very interesting so far. We are in like pre-alpha. It's very much like the writing is not even finished. We are getting a treat of looking at the game in this stage. We will never see this again. We will never see this version of the game again. So anybody watching this in real time or as a VOD, you are getting a treat because this version of the game will never exist again. You'd honestly forgotten about that, but your fingers still tremble as you pull out your phone and open the app. There's a notification that Ryan has accepted your request and some messages from him. Hey, is that the part where I propose going out on a date? Tomorrow night around 7? Boy knows how to work. He wants to go on a date tomorrow night. Santi's grin gets bigger. Yes, Patrick, you're glowing right now. You're pretty sure you're blushing instead. Oh, what's so funny about this is Saturday. He's going on a date tomorrow. I, in real life, have a date on Sunday. But not with the astrophysicist. But you don't bother correcting him, instead typing a quick reply. I'd like that. Tomorrow at 7 works for me. How about Marco's for dinner? Well, now that you have a hot date tomorrow, you should head home. You give Santi a hug before you each head out, and he promises to call if he needs anything. You're settling in for the evening when your phone dings with a message. You pull it out, and it's from Santi to your friend group. Yep. It's funny. I went so long not really being part of like group chats other than like ones with like my sisters or whatever. Um, and then over the last couple of years, I've like had a couple with neighbors, um, maybe like a project thing or like everyone's doing something, so there needs to be a group chat for that one event. And now like most of my texts are going into group chats. um, the friend group to Polycule Pipeline. I mean, actually, we'll see which way that goes. That would be interesting. If you haven't heard yet, oh no, nope. This is a negative. This is a negative. If you haven't heard yet, Albert was cheating on me and we're getting a divorce. Don't know how much I want to talk about it right now. You monitor the thread for a while in case Santi needs anything. Everyone sends their condolences, and you're pretty sure Jason directly tells Gabe to shut up at one point, because Gabe's curious questions in the thread suddenly stop. We've all been there. We've all had to text someone to be like, hey, maybe don't right now. Maybe just support. The thread quiets down after that, and you have an uneventful rest of the evening. Sunday! Date day! I really need to do laundry today and actually load all of the dishes into the dishwasher and wash the other stuff, and I should clean too, just in case we end up here after our date tonight. I mean, on top of the fact that this is Adam's dorm. This looks pretty immaculate. The thought, for some reason, has you flustered. It's been a while since your last breakup, and you haven't been on that many dates since then. Excuse me. So sorry. I'm just so tired today. Your desire to make a good impression forces you of bed. Oh, this needs to scene to your apartment. You're not still in the park. Oh, for the last scene? Yeah. Ooh, for the placeholder, use James's apartment. That's one of my favorite, like, locations in all of the games. Forces you out of bed and dutifully take care of the apartment. By the time you finish, it's mid-afternoon and you make yourself a sandwich and wonder if you should call Santi. Call Santi, go to the gym, have a quiet afternoon by yourself. I went to the gym today, so we're gonna go to the gym. You head to the gym, find it unusually empty for a Sunday, although you suppose it's still a little early. You spend the time doing mostly aerobic exercises. Soon an alarm on your phone reminds you of your date with Ryan, and you head home to shower and change. You feel a lot more nervous than usual as you drive to the restaurant to meet Ryan, and not just because it's been a while since you've been on a proper date. Ooh, I do love that apartment. It is chef's kiss. Probably only truly surmounted by Carlos and Nick's apartment. Ryan is already waiting in the front of the restaurant, and you have to double check that you're not late. He seems to be unsure how to greet you, settling for a handshake that you think would be amusing if your nerves weren't still getting to you. I don't do handshakes, thankfully. I have gotten better at just like instantly offering a hug, especially if I'm on a date. But I will say I did the guy that I'm gonna see on Sunday, on our last date when we were leaving, he messaged me after and was like, it would have been okay if we kissed. And I was like, okay, I felt that energy too, but I wasn't sure. Which sounds unusual coming from me. Got it. Shake Pat's hand constantly next time we meet up. Last time you said you would give me a lot of rocks, and I left there with no rocks. Just saying. thanks to your reservation, you're seated at a table fairly quickly, and you watch as Ryan fiddles with his silverware. I'm so forkin' nervous right now. In your relief, you let out a choked laugh, and he looks at you strangely. Sorry, I was just thinking the same thing. Me too. Why would you be nervous? I was just thinking the same thing. Yep. He shakes his head. This is the first date I've ever been on. Jeremy and I kind of just happened. I guess Jeremy was his husband. I'm surprised guys on Manhunter aren't all over you. I typically don't do this one on a first date. Because I am meeting more people that like are into like poly and yeah, sounds a bit awkward, right? Yeah. Like, it's fine. And I know some people are okay with that, but like, I know personally I'm not asking other people about their partners or their past partners on the first date. I don't want that to be the focus. So, I'm surprised the guys on Manhunter aren't all over you. Not that he isn't saying that they aren't. He shrugs, but you think he's blushing slightly now. Anyway, what's good here? They have decent pasta. Burgers are good. I like their salad. I usually get one with chicken. This seems like the thing I would get. Oh, this does have more options, but you didn't make choices to unlock them. See, and this is the beauty of a BobCGames game, is that your choices do truly matter. I like their salads. I usually get one with chicken. The healthy option. Hopefully the chicken isn't forking cardboard. After some reassurance about the food quality, you both order some salad. The same salad. The conversation over dinner is as comfortable as you remember from the bar, and you're starting to think about dessert when Ryan's expression suddenly grows dark. What the fork? You follow his gaze to a man who's just walked into the restaurant. No, not a man. An android? The chicken was cardboard after all. I need to play Mother. I need to play Mother. That way this makes sense. Or not that that way this makes sense. That way this has better context. In contrast to the androids, you're used to sporadically seeing, all gleaming metal and plastic in a vaguely humanoid shape. This one is much more obviously human. Oop. He's also dressed, which strikes you as unusual. Existing androids had no need for clothes, and you wonder if this model was closed so it'd be easier to integrate in society. Not gonna lie, he's an attractive android. I mean... What's he doing here? And why is Ryan so upset by him? I'm assuming this has something to do with Mother. But he's an attractive android. This doesn't make sense yet. I need to finish writing Ryan's game. Totally fair. Totally fair. You suppose if you could choose how you looked, muscular in all the right ways would be high up on your list, but it looks good on him without seeming too artificial. You tear your gaze away and look back at Ryan, who's staring at the android with what looks like murderous intent. Before you know what's happening, Ryan has knocked over his chair in his haste to get up and has stalked over to the newcomer, his hands balled into fists and looking like he's ready to throw a punch. What the fork are you doing here? Everyone in the restaurant, patrons and staff alike, are staring at the two of them now, and you're not sure what to do. Ryan, stop it. Physically intervene. Physically intervene! You stumble up out of your seat, catching Ryan's arm just in time as he tries to throw a punch at the android. Fork and let me go. You loosen your grip automatically, and Ryan wrestles himself out of your arms, storming out the door before you know what's happening. Or what's happened. The android looks around the room, and you think he actually appears sheepish. That's unusual, too. Okay. A little bit more sentience, I'm assuming, than your average AI android. I apologize if my presence here has caused any undue hardship. The hostess immediately moves to reassure him and seems unsure of herself as she offers him a complimentary glass of wine, which he accepts. That's different too. Androids don't eat or drink. At least they didn't used to. The android's eyes meet yours briefly, and there's a spark of something there that makes you shudder. And then he's gone, being led towards a table by another apologizing waiter, and you can feel your phone buzz in your pocket. You pull it out expecting a message from Ryan, but instead find a text from Santi. Hey, how's your date going? You frown, feeling like something has to be wrong. Santiago would never think of interrupting you, even with a text, unless it was something important. Long story. What's wrong? When you're done, can you come over? You look around for a waiter and take care of the check, making sure to leave an excessive tip as quickly as you can. As you head to your car, you look around just in case Ryan decided to cool off somewhere outside, but there's no sign of him. You don't allow yourself to worry about Ryan right now. Santiago was more important. Oh no. Oh no. It takes Santi a few knocks to answer the door, to the point where you'd been considering using your copy of his key. And when he does, he's shaking, his face wet with tears. You can feel your heart break for him. Santi. I'm sorry, I'm such a forking mess. Hug him. Hey, it's okay, I'm here. What happened? Hug him. He collapses against you and you hold him as he shakes. You guide the two of you onto the couch, with his face against your shoulder, gently rubbing his back as his sobs turn into sniffles, and he seems to stop shaking. I thought I was done with the sad. I told you weren't. It's okay for you to not be. I'm here for you. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Like, you will have these emotions, and they're all good, and they're all fine. I just wanted so much to be, and to have really moved on to something else, like spite. He stares off into space before shaking his head. Can we watch something? Not a romance movie. Maybe something slashery where a bunch of bad guys get killed? Yeah, I'd like doing that. Granted, those are like my go-to movies anyway, but like especially after a breakup or, you know, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm more into the horror right now. You spend the rest of the evening with him and spend the night on his couch just in case. You wish there was more you could do for him. You've always enjoyed working with Santi, but this week you feel especially thankful that you see him most of the work week anyway. The job keeps you busy during the days, and in the evenings, you help him deal with the logistics of finding a divorce lawyer or just hang out in the evenings. He doesn't have another emotional breakdown, but you're thankful for that at least, but he doesn't seem happy either. And you wish you knew how to better help him. The news of Santi's impending divorce slowly filters through your friend group, and it pleases you that everyone seems to be siding with him. Then again, Albert had seemed more than eager to give up on those particular friendships in favor of his new, younger partners, which actually made things easier as well. Yep. Santi doesn't ask about your date with Ryan on Sunday, and you're pretty sure it's because he feels guilty about having dragged you away from it. Then again, you're not sure how you'd explain what happened, so you're happy to avoid the topic as well. Date was going fine. It seemed really cool. An android showed up, and I don't know, Ryan sort of got in a weird, kind of violent mood and left. That's how you explain that. In any case, you're worried bringing it up would bring back his feelings from that night, and you don't want to do that either. Friday. You're cooking dinner in your kitchen for yourself and Santi, chatting about work from the past week, when his phone dings. He pulls it out and frowns at the screen. Is that Albert? Santi shakes his head. No, it's Gabe. He's asking me whether Albert's still coming on the cabin trip next weekend. No way in hell. Santi laughs. Honestly, I'd forgotten that was next week. I guess I need to text Albert that he's uninvited. Not that he'll care anyway. I don't even think you need to tell him that he's uninvited. I think he knows. I have a feeling he knows. He does so while you finish plating the food and his phone dings again. Gabe wants to know if that means there's an open slot. Is Gabe wanting to bring someone? There aren't any extra bedrooms, right? Normally it's me and Albert in a room, Gabe and previously Kendra in a room, Jace and J2 in a room, then you get a room. Wow, way to make me feel singled out. Ouch. I'll ask what he's thinking. Santi texts back while you carry the food to the dining table and joins you afterwards. He might be thinking that you and I will share a room now. And so there might be an extra room if like another couple wants to come. Santi texts back when you carry the food to the dining table and joins you afterward. Thanks for cooking, man. It's always a pleasure. He sighs and stares off into space. It's been a really weird week. Rub his shoulders. It has. Are you okay? He smiles and nods. I'm sorry, I've been taking up all your time this week, man. I just didn't want to be alone. Hey, don't you dare apologize for that. I'm always here for you. Still, he shrugs. I was thinking of deleting the app, at least for a bit. It's not that I haven't matched with anyone, but after Sunday night, I kind of... He trailed off. Pat his shoulder. You don't have to use the app if you don't want to. It's okay, I'm here for you. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. This is another conversation that I have with people. I just think I shouldn't be dating right now. Or honestly forking either. It's way too soon for me to throw myself into things with someone new, even if it's satisfying. I probably couldn't handle another breakup or whatever right now. And spite isn't a good reason to go out and start hooking up with random guys, and I think it's just going to hurt because I'm going to want something more. Sorry, didn't mean to just spill on you like that. Everything you said's true. Honestly, I agree. I'll always support you in whatever you feel is right. Honestly, I agree. He laughs. That's what I appreciate about you, man. You don't bullshit me. But you're also not pushy. Oh my goodness. Side story, just real quick, about, like, friends telling you things like that. This last week when I was at the bar with my friends, one of my friends I just recently met their spouse, and I was apologizing for like rejecting an offer that they made because I was trying to make one of our new friends feel included in like the thing that we were all doing. And we were sitting with that new friend as well. And friend number one was like, oh my goodness, no, my partner adores you. And he adores you specifically because he thinks that you're such a good friend to me. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet, because that tells me that, like, not only do I get approval from this partner, but that my friend thinks that I'm a good friend. And then that, like, segued into the fact that, like, at a Comic-Con that's coming up, or not a Comic-Con, but at like a convention that's coming up, there's a like pinup show. And my friend's gonna be in it. And I was like, ooh, sign me up too. And they were like, there's no gender specifications on it. So I was like, oh, who would I be? And so my friend looked at me. I was like, oh, I get to hear what you think is attractive about me. So I stand up and I like show the front, and then I turn around and I show the back. And I sat back down and I looked at our new friend and I was like, you're gonna give me your opinion too. And my first friend was like, all right, well, first, your personality. You make people feel very seen. Like, people are drawn to you because you make people feel like they're important. And that felt so incredibly sweet. You really do. Oh, thank you. And then my new friend, the same friend that I was trying to make sure felt included before, he turned to me and he was like, okay, I'll also go with personality first. You make people feel comfortable. You are really good at being someone that people can just go to and talk to and not feel like they're imposing or they're going to be judged. And it was just the sweetest, like, 7 minutes of getting these, like, really good compliments from people that I care about. So yes. Also, congratulations on getting Wiglet. Anyway, back into the game. Just, that reminded me of that, and it made me feel really good this week. Although at least one of us got something out of it, right? Also, speaking of Ryan, tell him sorry that I've been monopolizing your time. You should see him again this weekend. Not that you have more, now that you have more free time. Wiglet is one of my favorite Pokemon. Oh, cute. I guess that's why you use the Ultra Ball. You stare at him for a little too long and he frowns. You and Ryan have been texting or whatever, right? You had honestly been assuming that any potential there had gone bust after what happened on your date. Yet he hadn't sent you any message afterwards, much less an apology. And you'd been too concerned about Santi to reach out yourself. Honestly, I will say, having been on a date with him that was going well, I probably would reach out. Like, regardless of if they reached out to me, just to be like, all right, what was that about? Are you good? What's up? Regardless of if I was even interested anymore. But, yeah. And in the bustle of the week, the topic of the date, or how it had ended, had never come up in your conversations with Santi. Patrick, you've been ignoring him all week? For me? That's not... He shakes his head and holds out his hand. Give me your phone. Comply. I'm not sure I'm interested in him anymore. Comply. You know better than to argue, and Santi types a bit before handing your phone back to you. You read the text that he'd sent from your device. Hey Ryan, this is Santi. I don't know what happened on Sunday, but it's my fault he hasn't contacted you this week. I've been keeping him busy with my emotional baggage. You two should go out again. My treat. Santi. He shushes you. I'm not about to be responsible for ruining something for you, man. I don't want that guilt right now on top of everything. Also, your food is getting cold, so let's eat. Dinner is a pleasant affair and your phone dings partway through. You pull out your phone, feeling more than a little nervous that what message might await you. Hey, I'd like that. Your expression must change because Santi smirks. Chris says this all the time, not like a smirk. But he points this out all the time. He points out that if you're new here, something about me, I can't do anything about my face. So yes, like Chris can usually pinpoint when I'm talking to like a guy that I'm dating, right now, like one of those guys. He almost always knows when I'm talking to Bob. And he also knows like when a couple other like timed events that happen to me throughout the day occur based on like how my face is. So yes, I understand being very expressive and having someone point that out. Is he free tonight? You know Santi won't rest until you've set up another date, so you message Ryan back. Woo! Are you doing anything tonight? Just got off work. Eating now. Can meet up afterward. I think we should talk at least, if that's okay. Sure. You text him your address and he says he'll stop by after he finishes dinner. You put your phone away and your heart beating a little faster now. Bob, that's not your writing, that's me not reading. I didn't realize it was possible to go this long before meeting Gabe and Caleb and J2. Wonder if I need to fix that. I'm enjoying this storyline. I will say, for it being like a dating simulator, I've only really had 3 opportunities that I've noticed. But I'll say that I've had 3 opportunities in the last, let's say, actual amount of playtime, hour and 15 minutes. So 3 potential options of showing interest and actually going on a couple like preliminary dates. That's not bad timing. If it's really important that we meet Gabe and Caleb and J2, maybe. But it seems like no matter what, we're kind of going to meet them if we end up going to like the cabin trip in the game. Yeah, I need to find a better game name anyway. YAGS originally was Yet Another Gay Dating Sim. Oh, that's funny. Especially because I was looking up YAGS stuff earlier, and one of the results that came up was Yet Another Gaming Sim. So, yeah. The point of this, like YAGS, isn't as much about dating as much as middle-aged guys living life. And I feel like that story is coming through. Correct. Like, I think because it's posed as like a dating sim, like that's what got me on YAGS originally, like when we first met, was that I was looking for like queer games to play that express a little bit of what it's like to be queer. And I had found like a couple, like a really popular one that year was What's Your Gender? And that talked about like gender identity. And so like I picked YAGS because I wanted to show what gay dating was like. And then it turned out to be a lot more than that. But I think a lot of people will pick this up unless they're a fan of you. They'll pick this up because they're focused on like the dating aspect of like dating daddies. And the rest of the storyline will like seep through that. So I think like personally a way to kind of gauge from the audience perspective, gauge interest level is how many date opportunities are presented in a certain amount of time to hit certain beats. You're obviously the professional, but as a player going into this blind, knowing only that it's a dating sim and also knowing a little bit about how you write, but knowing that this is advertised as a dating sim, I've caught 3 potential dates. I've stuck on 1 track. And we've had realistically about an hour and 15 minutes of playtime. So I'm getting a lot of story and I'm getting opportunity. As well as, like I said, story revolving around like being closer into like middle age, as a queer person. There are very, very few dating opportunities. And you know what? That's fair. As long as there's like some sort of presentation of them, or it seems like there's presentation of them. Because like in that I'm counting the Android because we were allowed to show interest or not. And so to me, that's me sort of like giving the game information of like, I want to open these pathways. Regardless of if that's how you wrote it, that's me doing that. So that's me following what people will most likely click on this game for. Today was like gay and young dating a daddy. Gay dad. Hey, it's a title. Dating a daddy. It might also be fun if you did like dating a daddy and then something that has an E as like the final word. That way it's dad E. I don't know. Just my off the cuff. Santi grins at you. From your expression, I assume that went well. Yeah, he's coming by in a bit. Then more eating, less talking, man. You've both barely finished eating and putting your dishes in the dishwasher when there's a knock on the door. And Santi stands. You stand with him. And that's my cue. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Santi opens the door and nods at Ryan. Santi. Good to see you again, Ryan. Then he disappears through the door and Ryan looks at you awkwardly through it. Please, come in. He does, standing in the middle of your living room and looking around awkwardly until you gesture at the couch. He takes a seat on one side and you sit on the other. Neither of you speak for a bit until Ryan breaks the silence. Whoop. Look, I'm terrible at apologies, okay, but yeah, I forked up. Big time. Did you know that Android? Is this about your past? What happened? Just generalize with me. What happened? He shakes his head. I don't want to talk about it. Well, that's kind of why you're here. Bro. Like, I'm all for respecting your wishes about your own past and your own trauma. But I need something to work with now. Like, if you wanted to just say that you owe me an apology, you could have texted that. And then reiterated it in person. You could have texted me and said, like, hey, this is about, like, my drama. This is about my, like, stuff that I need to work on. But I would appreciate another opportunity to, you know, hang out with you, get to know you in a less stressful environment for that. Like, that would have been fine. You're in my house now. So, that's not good enough. I understand. That's not good enough. He scowls at you. This was a mistake, Fork. He stands. This was a thing, and now it's not. Good luck finding what you're looking for. Before you can say anything else, he's gone, the front door shutting behind him. I guess that's the end of that. You obtained an achievement, the last goodbye. Does this count as a breakup? We weren't officially a couple. Well, that sucks. You're assigning personality traits to Ryan that he does not have. And that's fair. Oh. Well, that's upsetting now. Okay. Okay. You sigh and sit back on the couch thinking for a moment. You remember that Gabe had proposed a gathering at the bar tonight. And you think it could do some good. You grab your phone and text Santi. Were you going to the bar tonight? You don't get a response back and assume Santi's still driving home. You call a taxi for yourself. Hi. Okay. You walk into the bar and spot Gabe and Joe standing in a corner talking. I'm just saying, study her crap. Surely there's something there we could have used, even if it is far beyond anything. Gabe notices you and waves, seeming almost grateful for the interruption. Hey, bud! Santi seems to pick the moment to walk in. That moment to walk in. I have two rules for... Hello. I have two rules for writing Ryan. He never says sorry, and he never says thank you. Those are not good personality traits. Which is not a critique. Like, that is that character. And he uses the F word every other sentence. Caught that. Oh god, never date anyone who doesn't say thank you to waiters. Facts. Never date anyone that's not good to wait staff. Also, I'm hearing the dryer, like, continuing to cycle, which means that the stuff that's been in there has been in there for, like, hours. Anyway, I'll deal with that. And there's Santi. Santi pats your shoulder and you understand the "we'll talk later" message. Hey Gabe, J2, Jace isn't here? Joe shakes his head. Nah, he and Dean had a date tonight. I would have joined them, except I was supposed to have a shift, and they got tickets to a stage show that's sold out now, so I'm gracing all of you with my presence instead. And we're all really glad you made it out. You and Santi nod in agreement. Hang on. Okay, yes. You and Santi nod in agreement. Yeah, feels like you've been working more than usual recently, man. Joe shrugs. Not more, as much as night shifts, which makes socializing more difficult. I'm lucky that Jason and Dean have been so accommodating. And Philip has been able to get scheduled with me. Joe clasps your shoulder and squeezes. I've been missing all of you, though. I'm looking forward to our cabin trip next weekend. Gabe looks like he's about to say something, but then he points toward the bar. First drinks on me tonight, buds. Go grab something. Santi grabs your arm and pulls you toward the bar. We'll be right back. Like I said, you're assigning him personality traits that he does not have. When you seem reasonably out of earshot, he leans against you and whispers in your ear. What happened with Ryan? We had a talk and decided not to continue seeing each other. It's more formal wording than you'd maybe normally use, but you're still not quite sure about your feelings on the breakup. Santi stops walking and pulls you into a hug. Hey, I'm sorry, man. You hug him back, but oh, we didn't tell him what happened. He thinks this is his fault. You hug him back and shake your head, deciding you don't really want to talk about it at the moment. Let's just get a drink. He nods, squeezing tightly before releasing you. The two of you stand at the bar, and a bartender in leather, that's a new one, but a change that you definitely appreciate. I think it's funny that I decided to wear leather on the on the thumbnail for this stream. But a change you definitely appreciate asks you what you want. Santi points to Gabe and Joe in the corner. We're with Gabe over there. 1 tequila sunrise. Okay, I like that. And an IPA, please. 2 tart hot blasts if you still have that. Soon you have your drink and rejoin Gabe and Joe in the corner. Okay, but why? Gabe looks overjoyed that you're back. Santi, Patrick, make J2 shut up about this. Joe rolls his eyes. I thought you were interested in the Mars mission. Oh god. I should probably be better at disguising who's Gabe and who's Joe. At distinguishing who's Gabe and who's Joe. Possibly. Because I think I know that this is Gabe because you gave me artwork for the thumbnail, and I think he had Gabe as, like, his file name. Okay, yeah. I think based on the voices, you have them backward. No, I'm giving him a deeper voice, and I'm giving him like a different kind of similar voice that I've given Jake. But I'm sorry that they don't align with the image that you had in your head. Mars mission? Yes. Talking about Mother? No. Actually, I'm interested in this conversation. Any interesting incidents in the hospital recently, J2? I think I'd be interested in the conversation if I hadn't just, like, been not dumped by, what's his face? Ryan. How dare you have your own take on them? Any interesting incidents at the hospital recently, J2? Please no, I'd rather talk about Mother. No one seems to know what to say for a bit. What concerts are Jason Dean at? You end up having a pleasant evening of conversation and return home at the night with a pleasant buzz and feeling like you really appreciate your friends. You check your phone before bed and realize you've missed some messages from Gabe to your friend group. Hey, since Kendra won't be there again this year and we're also missing Albert, does anyone care if I invite Caleb along? To the cabin next weekend, I mean. I'll take the couch and he can have my room so no one else has to move. No one seems to have responded to the question yet, and you wonder if they're all just waiting for someone to make the first move. I feel like that would be fine, and if they don't want to sleep on the couch, then I would be fine rooming with Santi. Like, we're really close, and he's not gonna need the space anymore. So I guess there's no reason he couldn't come. And it's not like there isn't sufficient space with the pull-out couch. But Jason and Joe haven't ever invited any of their partners, so their partners or their kids. So it's also kind of a strange request. Part of you wonders if Gabe and Caleb are unofficially dating or something. But you push that thought out of your head. People are allowed to just have good friends, like me and Santi. And Gabe's always identified as straight, so it's not my place to question that. I guess it's fine. I'm not sure we have the space. I guess it's fine. Your suspicions are proven correct when Joe immediately responds after you. Jason and I have no concern if you want to invite him. Jason says he seems pretty cool. Gabe seems to be monitoring the thread because he soon responds. Thanks! You put your phone away and turn out the light. At least it's the weekend. Saturday. We might finish out this week and then call it a night. Because I don't know what I did today, but oh my god, my throat is like dying. And I have exhausted a full bottle of water. You wake up late on Saturday and make yourself a leisurely breakfast. I love days like that. They are so rare now. I am so busy all the time. You check your messages as you sip your coffee. You don't have any messages from anyone, and you consider what you should do with your morning. You remember that it's the monthly drag brunch at Marco's, and even though you've already eaten, you wouldn't mind going and enjoying the show. Hitting the gym also is always an option, and getting in some exercise has always made you feel better. Between these, I would probably go to the gym. Oh! If you're not finishing the game tonight, I'm actually secretly happy about the choices you've made so far for reasons that I'm currently writing. Okay, this is exciting, everybody. We're getting to decide at least a path that the creator is going to make for us. You spot Gabe at one of the machines, surprising you. He notices you and waves you over. Gabe looks really good in that tank top. Gabe's fine, but not really my type. I mean, I dig it. You're not sure why the thought springs to mind, but tell yourself you're allowed to appreciate the man, even if he was straight. Hey, bud. Good to see you. I know. This isn't my usual place. I figure a bunch of gay guys would have better fitness tips and be better gym partners than my usual place. Honestly, probably. Like, what's so funny is that a lot of straight guys go to the gym initially, like when they're younger, because they think they're going to get attention from women going to the gym. And really, you end up just getting more attention from other straight men. So, you wonder if he also likes all the attention he's getting from guys around the gym. Pat his shoulder. Good to see you too. I'm surprised you didn't have Robbie this morning. Good to see you too. Want to do some reps together? Yeah. Between the exercising and conversation, you lose track of time, and it's early afternoon by the time you make it home. You make yourself a quick sandwich and check your messages to figure out afternoon plans. There's a message from Santi in the group chat. Hey everyone. Albert left his old Madness the Summoning cards. I was going to burn them, but I thought it could be fun to play. Anyone want to try a game with me today? Not really my thing, but thanks. I love that game and I can teach you. I haven't played before, but I'll learn it with you. Not really my thing either. I don't really play Magic. I don't know. Okay, I feel like, knowing Bob, there's a secret route where you can maybe, or there will be a secret route where you can maybe end up with Santi. And this might help you with that route. Not really my thing either. Haven't played, but I'll learn it with you. Nice, come by whenever. Anyone else is welcome too. Nah, Santi's not a secret route. He's a regular route. Oh, good. You finish your lunch and head to Santi's place. Is Gabe the secret route because he's straight? He's already spread out stacks of cards on the dining room table, and the two of you start looking through them. I think these are all common and uncommon cards. You point out the card where the set and rarity information can be found. Santi shrugs. There is a secret route, though. Gabe is not the secret route. Okay. Express route arrives every 15 minutes. Like clockwork. I mean, what? Doesn't surprise me. Albert never really played. He bought packs to try to get big hits and then sold those hits online. I guess he was convinced he'd pull one of those new numbered cards or something. Normally with collectible cards, it's not as good to make decks without rare cards. It sells more cards when deck staples are rare. Correct. Like, it's better to build a deck that is completed with rare cards and sell the entire deck than it is to just sell the one card. Well, if we both have crappy decks, it should be fine, right? Besides, we're still learning. You can't really argue with that and pull out the rules on your phone, so you try to assemble some basic decks. You attempt a couple of games and it seems to go okay, although you have to look at the rules a lot. I wonder if I should go out and pick up a couple starter decks, if we're serious about wanting to play this. I wouldn't mind. A ringing endorsement. Anyway, something else for now. Maybe a movie? You spend the rest of the afternoon watching a movie with Santi. When it's over, he stretches and you look at the clock. I should probably head home and make dinner, unless you want to... He waves you off. No, go, enjoy dinner, man. Thanks for hanging out this afternoon. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. You've barely stepped out of your car when you hear your name. Patrick! Hi? You turn to the sound of your... This was left field. You turn to the sound of your voice to see an android. The same one who walked into Marco's during your date with Ryan, approaching you. At least you assume it's the same android. The previous models all look mostly indistinguishable, and you're not sure how many different appearances these new ones would have. Yeah, this is why I'm excited about the choices you've made. Is the android like a special one? Yes. You start to ask how he knows your name before catching yourself. Of course he knows your name. He probably knows every human on site. All other androids did. And he undoubtedly knew that this was your apartment too, which makes you wonder if he was intentionally finding you to talk. I was not expecting to run into you at the present time, but since I have, I wanted to express my sincerest apologies for the events of last Sunday at approximately 2012 local time. That confirms that I'm speaking to the same android at least. It's not your fault. Thank you for your apology. Thank you for your apology. He nods. I am afraid I have also neglected to introduce myself. My name is... Bob. My name is Ethan. He holds out his hand and you shake it. It takes you a second to realize that his hand feels normal. You haven't necessarily touched many androids before, but you know that this one feels different. He feels human. The android is not a route. Although, funny story, he was supposed to be the secret route. Then I had a better idea. Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad we're not dealing with, like, a real doll situation. It's nice to meet you, Ethan. He knows who I am. Likewise. I would request that you not tell Ryan that we have spoken. My brother has advised me to avoid further interaction with Ryan. Your brother? That won't be a problem. We aren't seeing each other anymore. Why not? Why did Ryan react that way to you? I won't. We're not seeing each other anymore. Ethan looks legitimately upset at this. I had not realized. Then please accept my regrets at any role I may have played in that outcome. Before you can say anything else, he cocks his head slightly, then smiles at you. I am being summoned. I appreciate having had the opportunity to converse with you, Patrick. Then he disappears, more or less into thin air, and you're left staring at the space he used to be. That was interesting. Oh no, what? The thing I just mentioned? I wonder if Joe would appreciate hearing about... You wonder if Joe would appreciate hearing your encounter with Ethan. You wonder if Joe's even aware that more human-like androids exist now. You spend the rest of the evening making and packing food for the next few days. Afterward, you head to bed. Sunday. You wake up from an unexpectedly homoerotic dream about Gabe. Well, the man is attractive, and it's been a while since I've gotten laid. You remind yourself that he'll be at the park for his workout this afternoon, and wonder if you should go. You grab a quick breakfast of cereal and consider what you want to do with your morning. Call Santi, text the group. You fire off a text to the group to see who's free, and Joe responds fairly quickly that they're at the dog park and would welcome company. You quickly find Jason at the dog park and he waves to you. Hey, Joe's over there playing with Clipper. He pauses, seemingly considering something. Also, don't talk about Philip. They recently broke up and Joe's taking it kind of hard. What happened? Philip was cheating on him. What's with all the cheating? Why? What is... There's... Okay. So it was a really abrupt thing. You know how Joe gets when he doesn't really have time to process his feelings. He shrugs. Figured some extended time with me and the dogs would do him some good. I didn't realize you could cheat in a poly relationship. You can. You can. Jason looks at you strangely. Poly still has relationship parameters, Patrick. It's not like we're all going around forking random guys all the time. Yes. I literally only chose that one because I wanted to see what the justification was. Anyway, just thought you should know. We didn't really want to announce it in general to the group in case it upset Santi. Joe walks up to you with a very excited Bailey hot on his heels. Do they have multiple dogs? Because I thought he was with Clipper. Or was Jace with Clipper? Hey. My brain. Yes, they have 2 dogs. Okay, good. Hey, Patrick. He throws the ball in his hand and Bailey runs after it. How's Santi doing? I'm doing fine, thanks. Santi walks up on the 3 of you and almost immediately Clipper runs over at him. Jason laughs as Santi kneels down and gives Clipper thorough pets. I swear, Santiago, he loves you more than he loves us. That's because I'm the one who gets to give him treats. Speaking of treats, can I? Joe nods and Santi pulls a dog treat out of his pocket. Good boy, sit. Wait, who is in here with me? Just Draco, okay. I realized I was saying all of these like trigger words and he's not even in here. Oh, I should reorder them because of the Sprite direction. The dogs? Reorder the dogs? Clipper does so, staring at the treat in Santi's hand with impatience. Jason puts an arm around Joe's shoulder and goodness. Scritches his head. Good boy. Joe laughs and bats him away as Santi drops the treat in front of Clipper, who promptly devours it. Bailey trots back over, dropping the ball in front of Joe's feet. At least I'm Bailey's favorite. Oh. At least I'm Bailey's favorite. I think I see Laura and Luna over there. Come on, boys. He pats Clipper's butt, who gives Santi's hand one last lick before following along. Bailey watches them leave for a moment before bounding after them to catch up. Santi stands and wipes his hand on his pants. Really though, I've been doing better, thanks. Joe nods, looking sad for a second, before shaking his head. Sorry we haven't been hanging out as much lately. Work's been... Hey, no apologies, man. We totally get it. At least we'll get some quality time together next weekend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting away for a bit, given recent events. Santi should be on the left so he's not staring off screen. Fair enough. Right now it makes sense with the conversation, but... Joe pats Santi's shoulder. We're always here for you, Santi. You know that. He nods and smiles at Joe before meeting your gaze. I know. Thanks, man. Joe stares off in Jason's direction, and you follow his gaze to see Bailey and Clipper running around with another dog as Jason chats with a woman. Can I throw the ball for them? Joe laughs and hands over the ball. Let's go have some puppy time. You spend the rest of the morning playing with the dogs and chatting with Joe and Jason until they excuse themselves to run some errands. That was a really nice morning. You nod in agreement. So I was thinking of going to Gabe's park workout thing again this afternoon. You're not sure whether or not you're interested, but you also feel bad leaving Santi on his own in the afternoon. I mean, I'm not. He's going with Gabe. Sure, I could do that. It's about lunchtime, so let's find some food beforehand. The two of you find a food stall and order hot dogs. Afterward, you head to the workout area, where Yippee. Find Gabe chatting with another man as they stretch as Robbie runs in circles around them. You try not to stare at Caleb's toned legs and arms. My man. Whew. Gabe notices you and waves you over, and you walk over to the two of them. Caleb, I don't think you've met Patrick before. Patrick, this is my coworker, Caleb. I think we've met in a dream. Oh. Caleb holds out his hand and you shake it. Nice to meet you. Gabe is one good-looking coworker. Yes, he is. Whoa. You've kind of always had a thing for redheads. Ever since your first proper boyfriend, who was almost obnoxious at times about how rare and special his hair color was. And before, but more than that, his shirt does a good job showing off his form, and you definitely like what you see. Huh. The blue also nicely contrasts his hair and the gentleness of his hazel eyes. I mean, that's not a blue shirt, but sure. Okay, I see it. You stop and remind yourself that the guy's probably straight anyway, and even if he wasn't, staring at him is definitely a way to make a bad first impression. I openly flirt with straight guys, or people that I assume are straight. And it's almost like a very strange icebreaker that most of the time they find somewhat endearing. You're colorblind. Clearly it's sky blue. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. They're going to start soon, but I recommend stretching beforehand. Today will be fairly intense. Robbie stops running around and holds his arm up at Santi. I'm assuming Robbie is a child, so Santi, up! Santi obliges, grabbing Robbie and raising him high up in the air as he screams in delight. Yes, if that's anything other than a child, that will seem like a very weird sentence. Maybe it'd be better if I'm on babysitting duty. Not sure I'm up for fairly intense, which by your standards will probably actually kill me. Down! Santi sets Robbie down and Gabe shrugs. Definitely not going to say no to that. Thanks, bud. If you come to the session after our cabin trip, it'll be the first class of a new cycle, so it should be more accessible. Come on, Robbie, let's go find some interesting sticks. Robbie seems unconvinced, but allows Santi to take his hand and lead him off. Caleb returns to stretching, and you do your best not to stare. Cute kid. Gabe laughs. Yeah, he's pretty freaking awesome. I'm gonna miss him next weekend. He looks at you. Not that I'm not looking forward to the cabin trip, of course. You said you're getting him during the week now, too. Gabe must notice your confused expression because he laughs. Yeah, Kendra and I reworked our custody agreement a bit since I got more work from home flexibility. I'm a free man Friday nights and Saturday mornings now. Caleb good to know. Friday and Saturday. Okay. Caleb shakes his head, not looking nearly as happy at the thought as Gabe does. I don't know, if I had a kid, I'd probably try and prioritize him. Gabe shrugs, but looks a bit awkward. Well, I mean, less moving around for him and more continuous time with his mother, so that's not a bad thing for him either. Fair. Oh, speaking of the cabin, Patrick, thank you for including me in your cabin trip next weekend. Gabe grins. No thanks for me? Caleb gently punches Gabe's arm. I already thanked you, but thank you again. You look around at the group, not sure if you're really up for such a strenuous workout at the moment. Think I'll join Santi. Start stretching. Nope, we're doing this. We're getting into this. You join Gabe and Caleb in their stretches, trying your hardest to focus on your exercises rather than the way either of them are pleasantly filling out their clothes. You want kids, Cal? Caleb shrugs. In the abstract, yes, but it's not a thing I've been putting a lot of thought into, given I'm currently unattached. Would you date someone with kids? Caleb shrugs again. Sure, it's been a while since I've dated a woman with kids, but it's not a deal breaker or anything for me. Gabe nods. Okay. I don't know if I could raise a kid who wasn't mine. He just became way less attractive. To me. Well, good thing you have a kid who's yours then, right? Gabe laughs. Yeah, that's true. Caleb looks like he's going to say something else when the instructor's voice booms over the speaker. You find a spot next to Gabe, who grins at you. The workout is a lot more intense than you're expecting, and you mostly drop out partway through. Gabe and Caleb are both dripping sweat by the end, and Caleb takes gulps of water as you meet up with Santi and Robbie. Good workout. If raising a kid together is co-parenting, is sharing custody arrangements semi-parenting? That's one for the theologians. Yeah, but I'm still glad it's going to reset the next time I'm here. Gabe hits Caleb's arm playfully. Wuss. Robbie runs up to Gabe. Daddy, up! Gabe picks him up and lifts him into the air, and Robbie laughs. Caleb shakes his head. I have no idea how you still have the energy for that right now. Back! Gabe shakes his head and sets Robbie down. Maybe not right now, bud. Daddy's very sweaty, so this isn't a good time for a piggyback ride. Robbie stares at him for a moment before his mouth falls. Back! Gabe looks at the rest of you apologetically. I think we'd better be off. It was great seeing all of you. Thanks for the suggestion, Gabe. I'll see you tomorrow, or whenever you're in the office next. Gabe nods and Robbie starts bawling. Come on, bud, let's go home. You watch the two of them walk off in the direction of the parking lot. Caleb takes another large swig of water. Before you stop for tonight, can you make sure the planner doesn't explode? It'll be just after the end of Sunday. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Right, you told me there was a planner. Has it intentionally not made an appearance yet, or is that something I have to do? I wasn't going to suggest it while Robbie was around, but this feels like a good day for ice cream, doesn't it? Santi looks excited before his expression turns regretful. Oh man, I'd love to get some, but I really need to go do some chores at home. He looks at you as if anticipating a question. Don't worry, man. Actual chores. Caleb nods. Well, it was great seeing you today, Santiago. Patrick, ice cream, my treat. I'm not turning down free ice cream from an attractive gentleman. Sure, but you don't have to do that. Sounds good, thank you. I should probably go home as well. Thank you. I think I spotted an ice cream stand near the park entrance. Santi nods. Yeah, that place is a little overpriced. I guess taking advantage of all the people in the park on a nice day, but it's pretty good. Anyway, enjoy the ice cream. I'm sure I'll see both of you later. It was nice seeing you today, Santiago. You watch Santi walk towards the parking lot as Caleb takes another swig of water. Shall we? The two of you end up at a park bench together with cones, which Caleb had insisted on paying for, looking out over the pond. This is a really nice park. I guess in general, too, it's a really nice city. He licks his cone and shrugs. I'm glad I moved here. What were you doing before? I do like it here. How's work treating you? What were you doing before? Mostly things for my family. I moved here for the new job. It's the first time I really did something for me, which is maybe a bit silly to say given I'm 38, but the job and the move feel like a fresh start. He frowns. Actually, I had a hard time settling into work at first. There's some background there I don't really want to get into right now, but a lot of my coworkers were pretty cold to me at first. But Gabe didn't seem to care and treated me like the same as everyone else at work. And then, I'd say aggressively befriended me. Oh, that's how I do it. I aggressively befriend people. But I guess that's just how he is in general. He shrugs again and takes another few licks of his ice cream. Although sometimes his teasing goes a bit too far. Oh, I do that. My teasing goes very far. But in general, he just seems very kind and friendly. And it's been really nice meeting all of you through him. Yeah, that's definitely Gabe. It's been nice getting to know you too. He nods. You resist the urge to dig further into his work situation, given he seems to be uncomfortable talking about it. Instead, you turn the conversation to safer topics. A while later, you realize it's starting to get dark, and you bid Caleb farewell as you head home for dinner. You make yourself a quick dinner and check your phone as you eat. You missed a few messages in the group chat. Did you see the new Mars update? Successful landing. I did. And you doubted them. I never said I doubted them. I just said it would have been a lot better if they'd taken some advantage of Mother's stuff. There are no other responses in the thread, which doesn't surprise you. Joe's definitely the exception when it comes to Mother. Well, Joe and Ryan both. You're reminded that you should tell Joe about your encounter with Ethan. You make a note to yourself to do so at a future date. It feels like a topic better discussed in person. You do feel a little bad for Joe, though, even if he does somewhat deserve the silent reception. Oh, right, in the chat. Okay. It's intentionally introduced this week. Okay, perfect. Oh, I didn't realize I'd put his age. I need to fix that. It gives background. Thanks for sharing the news. Probably, but isn't there a benefit to doing it ourselves? Don't respond to Joe's message. Thanks for sharing the news. Uh-huh. No further messages seem to come. So you put your phone away, finish your meal, and get yourself ready for bed. You fall asleep with Caleb and the conversation about his job on your mind for some reason. Because it was the last part of your day. Select the planner execution mode. Fully automatic auto-populate. Manual planning? Auto-populate. Planner will automatically select actions for the week and let you tweak them. This can be changed later in game settings. Priority action. The plan will prioritize this action where possible. None gym workout, home relaxation, Santi hangout, bar hangout. You know what? This is the one that's happening most in my life right now, so I've been prioritizing that a lot. Accept selection. Planner tutorial will go here. Social battery 10. Change -8. Monday work. Monday evening bar. Tuesday work. Tuesday evening home hang. Wednesday work. Wednesday evening bar. Thursday work. Thursday evening Senti hang. Friday work. Home hang could be okay. Wow. Could be a gym workout, Santi hangout, home relaxation, not a bar hangout, relax by yourself at home. I think I would rather relax by myself. At least once this week. Because I can tell, like, you need to be away from people to actually regain your social battery. It will not let me change it. Oh, home hang is your recharge. Okay. Got it. Requirements. No, you can You can go to the gym any evening. You can hang out with Santi any evening. You may be randomly paged to do work any evening. You can go mingle at the bar any evening. Okay. I'm fine with bar hangout right there. Oh, God. Okay. There you go. Oh, and that changes there. So I'll have 2 social, like, left over going into the weekend, going into Friday night. Okay, cool. Okay, so I will execute this. Work on Mondays, uneventful. You write some code, do some code reviews. This is where I'm going to save. And I think where we're going to call it for the night. Yes. I need to figure out a better way to indicate that your job selection impacts the planner. Finance forces you to schedule work one evening. Programming may randomly replace an evening activity with work. Med billing gives you full planner flexibility. Thank you for testing. Oh, yes, I'm happy, obviously, to continue this. Okay, cool. Good to know that... Okay, yeah, good to know that, like, even those earlier bits actually, like, matter. So. But yes, this has been super fun. I have enjoyed it. I'm going to turn down the music just, like, a touch more even, but I'm going to take it out of my ears. Because I've been listening to the same soundtrack just on repeat, like, one right after the other, not even cyclically with the conversation. For almost 3 hours. So, yes. I will bake it into my schedule to play more of this. I kind of figured we wouldn't be doing tonight. If you were over on YouTube at all today, you might have noticed I put up my next Zomboid stream, which is the start of a new series, by the way. So everybody that's interested, look out for that. I put in the next YAGS stream, which is a little bit earlier in the week than normal. And I intentionally left the entire second half of the week open because I wanted to make room to continue playtesting this, provided Bob has no more undead. Yes, more undead. Provided that Bob has no qualms with continuing this or doesn't want to make any like major massive changes or anything like that. I'll get you a new build this weekend, hopefully with the new secret stuff. Perfect. Cool. Well then, with that, if you're over on YouTube, feel free to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new and just haven't subscribed yet. If you're on Twitch, feel free to leave a follow. I'm gonna look real quick. Ooh. Do we want to raid Josh? That seems fun. Yeah, we can go ahead and raid Josh. Josh Bait. Not Rain. Raid. Josh Bet straight. Love it. All right. Well, oh no. Oh no, please don't do this to me. If you want to continue hanging out with me, I will probably spend at least a little bit of time. He's extra straight tonight. Oh, good to know. Good to know going in. He's covered in pride stickers. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about Josh. Well, if you are over on YouTube and want to continue hanging out for a little bit, feel free to head on over to Twitch. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and put up the ending stream, and then I will end those. And then after I've successfully ended stream over on YouTube, we will head on over to Josh Bedate's stream. So, I'll see y'all over there.